Hey, welcome back to another episode of the DVO show with me, your host, DVO, Derek Van Otten. I want to thank you again for tuning into another episode. I want to start this episode with giving a little bit of gratitude and appreciation to two of my mentors. They recently reached out to me today, the day that I'm recording this, and one of my mentors is based in San Diego. He sent me a really nice email. My other mentor is in West Jordan, Utah, and he came down and visited me today at my home. And it was just nice to talk to both of them separately today. It's not like I was needing anything specifically, but it's just always nice to connect with them. So my mentor today that came over today and visited me, I haven't seen him. Gosh, I saw his wife not too long ago, but I haven't seen him, Rafa, maybe since before COVID. It's been a while. I mean, we've talked, just haven't seen him. And it was really nice to see him again. And as I was thinking about it, it's important that I stress the importance of having a mentor in life, or having some type of coach in your life, someone that you can go to and seek advice from, seek help or guidance from. It's always good to have someone like that. And I'm so glad I have two that are close to me in my corner that I can reach out to whenever I need help with life or business. So anyway, Rafa that came over to visit me today, I was just kind of thinking of some of the things I've learned from him. We were kind of reminiscing a little bit about the past and things I've learned, and he's so proud of what I've grown my businesses to. And I was thinking about one thing that he taught me, like the thing that sticks with me the most. And that was something that he used to tell me, because I used to be a manager at a previous job. And when I was being coached and mentored by him, one thing he said, it was, Derek, you need to focus on not being a manager anymore, because you were a manager. So you managed people, you told people what to do. And now you need to become a leader. You need to lead people. And so I was thinking about that today as Rafa left, and I was thinking about things he taught me and how that was one of the things. I mean, he's taught me a ton. He was one of my first mentors, so he's taught me a ton. But another thing the thing I was thinking about the most today was how I need to be more focused as a leader instead of a manager. Break the habits I had as a manager and become a leader. And I've been thinking about that today a lot. I thought maybe that's what I'll talk about on this episode. I'll maybe talk about what I perceive, my opinion of the differences between a manager and a leader. Right away when I think about this, or when I say that statement, I think of a picture that I've seen before, but I remember at one of my previous jobs, one of the last jobs that I had, somebody actually drew this because they did not like our management at this job. And they were not the best managers at all. Anyway, one of my coworkers, he drew a picture on the dry erase board. And what he drew was somebody on top of, it was almost like a sled. I think it was like a sled of maybe bricks. And when I think of sled, right, I think of a reindeer pulling a sleigh. But instead of a reindeer pulling a sleigh, it was people pulling a sleigh of, I think it was bricks, and somebody on top cracking a whip. And he wrote on this dry erase board something on the lines of our management, is what he wrote, something like that. And that's how people perceive the managers. We're just people that crack the whip. So when I instinctively say this, the differences between managers and leaders, I right away think of this picture that one of my coworkers had drawn one time. And it is true, right? We think sometimes of managers as the whip cracker, right? They're whipping they're snapping the whip, mush, go, do it, keep going, don't stop. Like, that's kind of how we perceive it, I think, a lot of times. And I didn't want to be a manager. I didn't want to manage people. I didn't want to tell people what to do. So now when I think of someone who is a leader, I think of someone who leads from the front. That was a phrase I heard many times, leading from the front, meaning I'll do it first. If I can do it, that means you can do it. And I won't ask you to do anything that I'm not willing to do myself. And then definitely when I think about the times when I was a manager, there was times where I didn't want to do a certain job and I would ask people to do it. There was times where one thing I was thinking of was at a job when I was the manager, I was supposed to do these one-on-one sessions. I don't remember what they were called, but basically you kind of, it was a review. I think it was like a quarterly review or a semi-annual review. I don't even remember, something like that. You will sit down and you rated these employees on a scale of 1 to 5, and you gave them their score. And I would do these sessions, and you're supposed to be in there, I don't know, 15, 20, 30 minutes. And I would do these 3-hour meetings with each person. And each person on my team, they couldn't wait to have these little sessions with me because they knew they could have almost like a 2 or 3 hour break sometimes. Because we would just talk about other things. We would talk about life. We would talk about their home life. We would talk about some of their goals they had. We would talk about all sorts of different things. And part of it was I was very interested in my team members. I wanted to know what their goals were. I wanted to know what they were going through in life. And also part of it was it was a good way for us to not even have to work. We just could have these. I used to work the night shift. I used to manage this team on the night shift. And so we didn't have really a lot of people around us. So I just thought these things were sometimes just bullshit. I mean, they're just such a waste of time. And again, there's a reason why I was not meant to be working in a building. It was actually this same job they worked night shift at, where it was surrounded by glass, right? The building was almost made of glass. And I would walk to the window, especially like on a Friday night, and I would look down, I would see my motorcycle parked down there. But then on what we call State Street here, I could just hear people just driving. I could hear motorcycles going. And I thought, I don't want to be here. I don't like the idea that I'm here for 8 or 9 hours a day in this building. Like that's like a third of my day is in this building. And I kind of would break it down. If I'm sleeping 6, 7, 8 hours, and then I'm here 8 hours, but also, I drove like 30 minutes, and then I have to come in out overtime. I'm here like I spend 9 or 10 hours of the day just because of this job. And it just made me not happy. I didn't want to be there. So I didn't really know the path I should do or be on, or the actions I should be taking. And yeah, I just didn't want to be there. So these coaching sessions, these employee reviews were just a way for me to just not really work. and then also just be able to BS with my team members. That was always fun. And I think about that, right? Because I would slack off at times. Because I didn't want to be there, but I was telling my team, hey, we have to hit this goal. We have to do this. We have to hit these numbers every day. And that's what I look at sometimes when I think of a manager. I think that's what my coach Rafa was telling me. Like, don't be a manager. Don't get used to just telling people what to do. They'll do what you do. Like kind of monkey see, monkey do type of thing. Kind of think of your kids again, right? Like you can say whatever you want to say, but your kids are going to do what you do. So you might say, don't say this word or don't do this action. But if you do it or if you say it, guess what your kids are going to do? Exactly what you say or do. So that was one thing that I took from my mentor Rafa was be a leader. And I think about leading from the front, taking the action. Now, you might incorporate what I'm telling you in different ways in your life. You could look at it as a parent. You can look at it as a leader in your job, or maybe a leader with friends. Maybe maybe you're on a bowling league, right? You can be in a leader position anywhere. There's so many things come up where you can take a leadership role in life. And I think it's good that everyone takes some type of a leadership role. You get to see the other side of things, because it's easy to point the blame when you're not in charge, right? It's easy to blame the leader. The leader or the coach or whatever is the easy cop out. I think about, like, I love football. Football season's coming up. I love the game of football. And you see the coaching staff shuffling all the time after a season, right? So if there's a bad season, it's easy to point out the coach, the head coach, because they're the leader of the team. The head coach is the leader of the team, so it's easy to point them out and get them out. You can be a leader in your church. with your friends. I mean, I think everyone should take some type of leadership role, because then you see what it's like to be in that driver's seat of the quote unquote team, whatever it is that you want to be a leadership or take leadership over. But you get to see that other side of it, where you're in charge of everything. You're in charge of the outcome, whether it's a good or bad outcome. You're in charge of that. And so you get the blame. Now, the blame might be good. The blame might be like, hey, you get the blame for our success. And that's a good. That's you want that. But you also get the blame for the failures. And so that's what the leader is in charge of. And I think when you think of a manager, you just think they're there to tell everyone what to do. And the leadership says, hey, follow me. Maybe you think of it like in a military role. The leaders in military are the ones that say, hey, let's follow me. I'm the first one there. I'm in the front. Stay behind me. So I think of that a lot of times as a leader. So there's a difference. In my opinion, there's a difference between a leader and a manager. Now, someone at, let's just say, a job, they might have the title of manager, but they might still be a good leader. Because maybe they still, I'm not saying every manager at a job is bad. I'm not saying that, okay? But I am saying there are some. Sometimes I would look at people and think, why are you a manager? It blows my mind that this person's a manager. But then I've worked with some really great managers who are really great leaders. And they led teams. They led teams to success. They led teams to victories. And they earn people's respect. I think that's another thing about a leader. A leader has the respect, where a manager just is maybe, well, they take the grunt of it all, really. Again, they're the first one to blame when there's the failure. They're going to be the first one to blame, as they should. Leaders should be the first one to take blame, and usually a leader is the first one to pass the success and victories to someone else on the team, actually. But anyway, that's kind of what I was thinking of today when my mentor was visiting me today. I was just thinking, what are some of the greatest things that I think of when I think of what they've taught me? And that was it. Was stop being a manager and start being a leader. And that really ingrained in me. I thought about that a lot as I was working with team members. I thought about that a lot. Like, how can I be a better leader to them? How can I lead from the front? How can I earn their respect? Where they say, hey, you know what? I succeeded because Derek showed me the way, because Derek did this or Derek did that. Like, I thought about that a lot. How can I be a better leader? Not a better manager, but a better leader. How can I say for example, with my mentor, when I would do production, I want to be the top. I want to be the number one. I want to do the most production. I want to have the most success. I wanted that accolade to be mine, but I wanted to help my team also beat me. So I wanted to set the bar for my team to beat me, and I wanted to also help my team to beat me. Like, that was important to me. So I always thought, hey, listen, records are meant to be broken, and if it's going to be broken, I want it to be by one of my team members. Like, I want it to be broken, but I want it not someone from the other team. I don't want them breaking my record. I want my team members breaking my records. That means I was helping the next generation, my people. That's kind of how I looked at it. And so I thought, thinking about my mentor today, that's what I thought about. So what I want to say to you guys on this episode is, be a leader. Be a leader. Be a leader in your family, in your church, in your neighborhood, with your friends, any organizations or clubs you're a member of. Try to be a leader. You don't need to be the number one leader, but try to be a leader for maybe for some people. Maybe someone new in the neighborhood, new in the organization, new at your job. Be a leader for them. Even if it's at your job and you do not have a leadership role, maybe try to take on a leadership role by example, by inviting someone to sit down with you, to eat, to coach them, to train them. There's a lot of ways you can take a leadership role. And I encourage you to take a leadership role. So many people like to sit in the back seat. And I get it, right? Because again, you don't have to take any blame. You don't need to take any heat. But I think if you did sit in that driver's seat, you'll get to see the other side of it. You get to see how hard it can be. It's not easy being a leader for people. It is not easy. or an organization. It's not easy to be a leader, but it is very fulfilling, and you get to see the other side. It's always good to see the other side. For like myself, growing up, I was not born into a leadership role. Right? I kind of worked my way there. But that means I started in a position of non-leadership, so I got to see that side of it. Worked myself into a leadership role, got to see that side of it. And it's always good to see different angles of things, right? Then you might not be so quick to blame your leaders or managers wherever you're at. It's easy to do so. But take that role yourself. Take the initiative. Take a leadership role, not a manager role. Take a leadership role, even if you are a manager. There's nothing wrong, like I said, there's nothing wrong with being a manager or having the title of manager. But what I'm telling you is to be a leader, though. Lead them. Lead by example. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about this episode. And I hope that is a tip for you. That was a tip ingrained in me that has really helped me through my life to be a leader. It's making me more calm, especially around it has helped me a lot. That sentence that my mentor taught me is, don't be a manager, be a leader. That really helped me in my family life. That helped me a lot in my family life. And I probably should tell him that. But one of the best compliments he actually gave me today, him and his wife, were, "You're such a great father." Because they saw me with my toddler, and that's always one of the best compliments I can ever get. But anyway, yeah, that made me want to be a better leader for my family, so that my family can see I'm not bossing them around. Oh, I'm the man of the house. You need to do what I say. I have these rules in the house, and you have to do what I say. No, it made me want to be a better leader. So when my oldest tells me an issue, I can ask questions like, why? Why do you feel that way? Why do you think this happened? Instead of me just giving my opinion and telling her what I think she needs to do, it's me asking questions. Why do you think that way? Why did he do this? Why did she do that? Why did you respond this way? It makes me ask these questions. When my 3-year-old throws a fit, I'm not going to yell at her and say, "No, shut up, don't yell." That's what 3-year-olds do, right? I can't blame a 3-year-old for being a 3-year-old. So I have to say, why are you acting this way? It really has helped me keep my composure. When my wife does something I don't like, I can say, instead of saying, "Why do you keep doing this? Stop doing it this way. You know you're not supposed to do it this way." Instead of doing that, and I might still do that once in a while, but I do have a hindsight, and I do think about it a little more thoroughly sometimes, or catch myself and just say, "Honey, do you think this is the better, or do you think we should do things this way?" Right? It's kind of a little diplomatic, if you will. And that phrase has helped me more than anything. Instead of being a leader in business, but being a leader in my homestead, in my household, being a leader there, which is for me the most important. And that's anyway, really great tip. So thank you, Rafa, for everything you've taught me, and I hope you guys are also getting a mentor to help and guide and coach you through life. All right, I will catch you on the next episode. Talk to you later. Bye.